Assalamualaikum and selamat sejahtera. My name is Syafiq Hakimi, and today I will talk about one of the transition metal in periodic table, which is palladium. So we can see that in periodic table, palladium is located at group 10, row 5, which the symbol is Pd, which have atomic number 46. So in general, we know that palladium is silvery and shiny metal that used in many process manufacturing in many industry. So I will tell you a little bit about the history, how the palladium has founded. The palladium discovered in 1802 by William Hyde Wollaston. It has been discovered by accidentally, but when William experimenting with purifying platinum. So the palladium has discovered when the platinum has dissolved in nitric acid and hydrochloric acid, which is called aqua regia. So the palladium was found at that time. Next, I will tell you about the properties of the palladium. Firstly, the palladium is a lustrous silver white metal, as you can see in the picture. Next, palladium have strong resistance from the corrosion in air, and it also attacked by the hot acid, but it only dissolved in aqua regia solution. Next one, the melting temperature of palladium is lower than platinum. Lastly, platinum have a cubic crystalline structure, so it very strong. Furthermore, I will tell you about the advantages and disadvantages of the palladium metal. As you can see in the background, at the right is the advantages and the left is the disadvantages of the palladium. So I will tell you about the advantages first. The palladium is very strong and durability. It's related from its properties, which it have a cubic crystalline structure, so it's very strong. The second one is palladium also is a malleable, which is can fit into any shape of design. It easier to fit in any design. The third is in non-toxic, or we can say that it's very less toxic than other transition metal to the environment and to the health of human. Next, it highly reflective or highly reactive. As you can see that palladium involve many reaction as a catalyst, so it very reactive because especially in absorbing hydrogen, because it able to absorb 900 times of its own hydrogen in the metal. Besides that, the palladium also came with the disadvantages. One of the disadvantages is if we compare the palladium and the gold, the palladium the gold is more malleable than the palladium, so the palladium is hard to work with if you compare it with the gold. The second is the palladium also cause an allergic reaction for certain people, as we know that the palladium is applied in jewelry, in many type of jewelry. Some of people will get allergic to that jewelry. The third one, higher cost. It is because the manufacturing of the palladium will cost very expensive money, because the manufacturing and the process is very hard to do. Lastly is the rare metal, so it's also related with the cost. Since it's a rare metal, the cost of manufacturing is expensive. Besides that, not usually the palladium is not be used in everyday tools, because it's very rare to find. In addition, I also will share about the application of the palladium. Firstly, the palladium used in the system in car, which is as a converter to clean up the exhaust gases. Next is also used in the electrical contact material, such as widely screen of television, laptop and phone. It also used in the multi-layer ceramic capacitor. Lastly, it also have been widely used in the jewellery. In the jewellery manufacturing, the palladium is divided into two types of the palladium rings. Firstly is palladium white gold and the palladium sterling silver. So as we can see in the jewellery, almost all the jewellery, especially rings and bracelet, have been used the palladium in the making of the jewellery. I also want to share the extra information. The palladium is a very rare metal, so we can say that the cost to have the palladium is very expensive. So one of the places that I contribute the 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 large of produce of the palladium nowadays is Russia, but the second place is Canada, and the third place is South Africa. Only three places that produce the palladium. So lastly, I also want to share that the palladium price is quite higher and expensive than the gold nowadays, because it involved in many manufacturing, because its properties, especially that the resistance of the corrosion is very good, and in the making a lot of tools that can be used nowadays. So at the end of the video, I hope you enjoy and can learn something from the palladium metals.